Hey guys, quick video today. I have to get back to work, but I wanted to get this out there. Some of you may have seen my community post yesterday, but I wanted to get this video out in case some of you just don't see my community posts or don't look for them. A little boy's body has been found here in southern Indiana in a rural area, and the Indiana State Police need help identifying him. He was found just this past Saturday, April 16th, 2022, by a Washington County resident who was out mushroom hunting and happened to stumble upon the child's remains in a heavily wooded area in or around Salem. This was around 7:30 p.m. Authorities were immediately notified and police arrived on the scene. The little boy is being described as being African American with short black hair. He is about 4 feet tall, has a thin build, and he is estimated to be between 5 and 8 years old. They do believe that he died sometime within the last week. An autopsy was performed, but they have not released the findings or a cause of death as of yet. They also didn't release a clothing description of what he was wearing when found, but it's possible maybe there wasn't any. I do not know that for sure. I'm just making an assumption because normally when a body is found, they do give a clothing description to try to further help identify the person. I'm sure they are doing a DNA test and trying to match him up with someone.
We're still waiting on the autopsy results. That part of the process is not in our hands. So once we have those answers, that can change the answer to that question. But at this time, we would believe it's going to be fairly recent, sometime within the past week.
Going off of that, what you mentioned, the autopsy, is that the reason why you have not elevated this to a homicide investigation yet?
Right. There's a lot of questions to be answered, and typically on any investigation like this, we're going to wait for those official answers from a doctor to say this is exactly what happened. We're not doctors. We're police and investigators, and we can all make assumptions, but that's not our job, to make those assumptions officially. We wait for the proper authorities to say this is the cause of death, this is the time of death, and then we can move forward from there.
Police have reached out to other agencies, not just here in Indiana, but Kentucky and Ohio also. But so far, there is no missing child report matching the description of this little guy. They are checking schools as well. I'm sure they're looking at attendance records. They are talking to teachers and other school staff to see if anyone has noticed a child that may not have been in school this past week. A sketch has not yet been released, but I'm betting they will release one soon if he's not identified before they do so. Now, it was originally believed that the little boy was from Salem or Washington County or nearby, but since they haven't received any tips or information about a missing child from there, they now believe he could be from outside the area.
Continuing to ask for the public's help to keep this at the forefront so that we can get that call. Obviously, this is a 5 to 8 year old young man. Somebody was taking care of him. He was in somebody's custody and care for his daily needs and for support. And we still haven't received any information about a child that's missing, that hasn't been accounted for, that would match his description. So we're asking for the public's help again to keep this going. Somebody out there either knows and isn't saying something or just hasn't had the opportunity to see this in the media yet, and they don't know that they need to call somebody. So again, it's of vital importance that, first of all, the number one point in this case at this point is just to identify him, and that's why we need your help. To help with that, we have received numerous tips and calls, social media contacts, things like that in the past 24 hours. We ask that if you do have information, our social media is not the way to contact us for a tip. That's not monitored 24/7. There's lots of different avenues to contact us that way that could be overlooked. So we ask that you use the tip line. We do now have a dedicated tip line just for this investigation. That tip line is 1-888-437-6432. I'll repeat that, 1-888-437-6432, and that is a national 1-800 number. So we do have our own 800 number here to the post, but it only works within the state of Indiana. This number is a nationwide number that anybody can call and give us information. So we ask that if you have a tip, if you have a possibility, if you have information that you feel like you need to relay to one of the investigators, that you use that number, because that way we can track everything. We can make sure that everything is looked at in a proper way and nothing is overlooked. So please, we stress that you use that number, and if you can, as far as your broadcast, if you can put that graphic up there, obviously nice and big and bold so people see that. Also, we've received numerous calls and contacts reference a young man by the name of Cody Bigsby, who's missing from the Hampton, Virginia area. We realize that a lot of people, based on the information that we put out, that could be a possible match. It could be a possible match, but we have been in contact with the Hampton Police Department that's working that investigation. To this point, we don't believe that's going to be a match, but that is still being looked into. So again, we're crossing every T and dotting every I. So until we have a specific information to say, no, that's not him, but we're not being led in that direction to believe that that's going to be a match. So lots of people have sent us that tip. Lots of people sent us the graphics for that. You don't need to do that anymore. We obviously or definitely looked into that, and numerous others that are on the websites for missing children. We've contacted many state agencies, local agencies, federal agencies, as well as working with other federal agencies on this investigation, offering assistance. So we're looking at lots of different avenues, pretty much anything we can. We had originally said that we thought possibly this would be something from the local area as far as the young man's residence, but because nothing's happened, we've been in contact with schools and other agencies in this area looking for somebody who maybe didn't show up that was expected to be there. We haven't had any matches or anything to show up that would answer that question. So obviously, this could obviously be a national thing. So it could be a child from any location. We're not going to preclude anybody, and we're going to look at any information that comes in that could answer the question as to the identity of this child. At this point, again, we don't have anything new. We just want to get that information out there. People to please use that 1-800 number, and just know that we're not going to stop looking until we find these answers. Somebody, again, was taking care of this little boy. He's 5 to 8 years old. He's obviously not taking care of himself. Somebody knows something. Somebody out there knows the answer to this question, and they're either choosing not to come forward with that information, or the right person just hasn't heard this information. So we ask that you please spread the word so that we can identify this young man and give him a voice.
This area is somewhat local to me. I used to hang out in Salem as a teenager, and I do have friends in Washington County. I know some of them watch my videos. So to those people that may be watching, please think about who you know. Do you have a friend that has a child matching this description? Even if you are thinking, oh, there's no way this could be their kid, are you sure? Have you seen the child lately? Did the parents post Easter pictures of this child you're wondering about on social media? Talk to your kids. You don't have to tell them what's going on. If you have children that attend Brady Shrum Elementary School or Salem Community Schools, which I believe are the two closest grade schools there in that area, ask them if any of their classmates have missed school recently. Also, if you know someone that perhaps fosters children and you haven't seen one of their foster kids that resembles this little boy that was found in quite some time, please let that be known. If you have suspicions about something, anything at all, call it into police so they can check it out. The parents or caregiver don't have to know you are the one who called, and if you're wrong, at least you did your part to make sure. And this isn't just for those in Washington County. Like police said, this little guy could be from anywhere. He could have been transported here from a nearby state or even much farther away. Someone out there has to be missing this little child or know how he ended up in those woods. This little boy has already been through something horrific and lost his life. He doesn't get to grow up and experience all the amazing things that he could have accomplished. Give him his name back so he can be laid to rest and be at peace, and the family members that do care about him can have closure. There has got to be grandparents, aunts, uncles, somebody who notices this boy hasn't been seen in a week or more. I know we automatically lean toward the possibility that his parents did this to him or his primary caregiver is responsible. That is very likely, but we don't know that yet. It's possible that something could have happened to them as well, and it just hasn't been discovered. Check on your people. Now, a little side note, anyone wondering about why someone would be out mushroom hunting, the person that found him was out mushroom hunting. I've seen some people ask about that in some posts online. That's a thing here in Indiana, and this time of year is the best time to do it. People will go out in the woods and look for morel mushrooms. They're usually found around dead elm trees. They find them, take them home, fry them up. It's a popular thing here in Indiana, so it's not odd at all. And thank goodness this person was out mushroom hunting that day and found this little guy. If not, who knows how long he would have been lying out there and possible evidence could have been lost. If anyone has information that could help in the identification of this sweet little boy, you're asked to call Detective Matt Busick with the Indiana State Police in Sellersburg at 1-812-248-4374 or 1-800-872-6743. The Indiana State Police have established a toll-free national tip line for information that anyone from all over the U.S. can call. That number is 1-888-437-6432. Thank you all so much for watching. Please share this video, share one of the links that I have in the description box. Let's get this information out there. Let's help this little boy get his name back so he can be laid to rest and those family members out there can get some kind of closure and so he can have justice if something evil and horrible happened to this little guy, if someone did something to him, which I am guessing is probably exactly what happened. Thank you all again. Please don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to check out my entire missing playlist because each case I cover is super important. I know this video was kind of like a reverse missing, so he was found, but we don't know who he is. And hopefully they can find that out soon. If you have any information, please don't hesitate to contact police. I will see you all in the next one.